Okay, this is my first match. This was late 2002. It was in Somerville, Tennessee. And I feel like I have to explain some of the things that are going on in this thing because there were so many different circumstances in this match that were going on. Why am I wearing a gold mask? You might wonder here in a minute. Why is Seth wearing that flashy robe? Why do I have a manager? I had been training about 2 months here, and I didn't really want to wear a mask. It was something that me and Kevin had talked about. I don't think Kevin thought my facial features and expressions were good enough at the time. He's probably right, but either way, I didn't want to wear a mask. Hated masks. Had god-awful ring attire, as you can see, but hated masks. You know, anyone that's ever worked in one will tell you that they are hot, hard to breathe. It's just not fun at all. So I thought I would accidentally, on purpose, leave my mask at home, and almost blew my match right there. Almost didn't have one. And Seth said, "Hey, I've got one." So he gave me this gold mask that matched nothing I was wearing. Not that that was a big deal, because what I was wearing was, as you can see, not up to par with regular wrestling attire. But I had a manager out there. It wasn't really a manager. He was another worker. You know, I've only known him as the name Cotton. That was his nickname. And I think Kevin put him out there with me just in case I got lost. You can see me there for a minute adjust my mask. That's because later on when I had a mask that was made for me by this woman named Miss Briley. She was actually she made masks for Memphis and stuff like that a long time, and she made them with this chin strap this chin protector that would keep them on. The one that Seth gave me had nothing like that on, and it was just like basically like a ski mask made of like this slick material that, I mean, it would just come right off. So we practiced this one match probably about a half a dozen times the day of the show in the ring, which now that ring is in a training facility. That's the training ring that they use now. That used to be the show ring. They have actually a better ring now for the show ring, but that is now the training facility ring for Kevin. This was 7 years ago this year. The ref was a great ref. We've ran into me and Miles when Miles finally got in. He got in about 2 years later, and we ran into him a couple of times. He's a good ref. One of the better ones I've ever worked with. The card for this show was pretty good too. Later on, I think the main event was Brian versus Spellbinder Dale. You had Kevin versus Poker Face. A video that I will be uploading later. The Bill Street Posse versus Brickhouse Brown and Reggie B. Fine. Rocker was on the show wrestling Danny B. I mean, just 5 really good matches. I mean, if you look at the talent on them, they were pretty well for this area. I think the one thing that I look back on this match, I realized I did not know how to take my time doing anything. And that gold mask looks hideous. Slow clothesline. The laughter you hear in the background is actually my wife, if anyone was noticing. You know, this is before she had went to too many wrestling events. Like I said, this was probably her first wrestling event that she had ever been to. So, you know, you can imagine the kind of shock that people go through when they watch these things for the first time, especially if they know the guy in the ring and they're nothing like what they usually are. Not just the mask, not saying I wear a mask every day of my life or anything. It's not that. You can see Seth's punches were very vicious there. Alright, in a minute, we're going home right here, and as you can see, watch the ref's position. Look at my feet. There's no way that he could not see my feet. I don't know why I put my feet on the top rope. It just seemed like something that I should have done. But God, that mask was hideous. So what had happened here was the crowd was telling him I had my feet on the top rope, and if he would have just glanced up, which I'm sure he did, he would have seen that my feet were on the top rope. So hearing this, the referee awards the match to Seth, reverses his decision, which is totally bogus. I put the blame on the ref. He should have seen my feet up on the top rope. This concluded pretty much my first match. In a minute, you're going to see a guy run out. Yep, here he comes. That is not Steve McNair. That is actually a guy that wore a jersey in the ring. Yep. That is not Steve McNair. I repeat, Steve McNair was not at our show. He just wore the jersey. I don't know why. Well, anyways, that was my first match. Not as bad as it could have been, I guess. Hope you enjoyed.